Casey Anthony broke down again in court today, day 3 of her murder trial in Central Florida. The Orlando mom is accused by prosecutors of killing her daughter by duct taping her mouth and cutting off the air. Today, Casey Anthony cried as one of her ex-boyfriends told jurors how much Casey loved little Kaylee. And he said that Casey Anthony never told him that Kaylee died in a swimming pool, as the defense now claims. Also today, we heard from a woman who says she had dinner with Casey Anthony around the time little Kaylee vanished, and that during that meal, Casey bragged about how she was such a good liar.
She actually made a phone call to some friends that she was going to meet up with that night, but then changed her plans to accommodate picking up Troy and spending more time with us.
And you heard that part of the conversation?
Yes.
Upon hanging up from that call, do you recall the defendant saying anything?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said she had told the friends that she couldn't come pick them up to hang out with them because she was having car trouble or that she got a flat tire or something of that nature. And as she hung up, she said she kind of threw the phone down in the dashboard and just said, "Oh my God, I'm such a good liar."
We also watched some pretty tense moments in the courtroom. The judge ordered attorneys from both sides to approach the bench over and over again. And at one point, the judge got so upset, it appeared, that he told the jury to leave the courtroom while he scolded the lawyers about their line of questioning. Joining us now, former prosecutor Tom Caniff and the criminal defense attorney Drew Findling, as we take it to the lawyers today. Tom, what do you make of what's happening here?
Well, Shep, look, the prosecution is obviously trying to establish that, Casey Anthony has enormous credibility problems. And they're also trying to establish, big surprise, through these witnesses, conduct, pre-arrest conduct, consistent with a consciousness of guilt. And that's been, I'd say, the crux of their case all along. I think what's strengthened that case is this so-called, Hail Mary defense by Mr. Baez, which really is nothing short of a godsend for the prosecutors in this case, because the biggest issue all along was that most of the evidence in this case was of a circumstantial nature. Now Baez has put his client with Kaylee at the time she died. She has her, having complete knowledge the 31 days before the crime was reported that she was dead. And she has her handling the body and, in fact, helping to cover up the death. In what world does Baez live in where that amounts to a defense? He's playing right into the hands of the prosecution.
What do you say?
Hey, Shep, let me tell you, I hear lawyer after lawyer say Baez has done this and Baez has done that. Hey, as someone that tries cases day in and day out in the trenches, it isn't Baez, it's Casey Anthony. He ethically can only convey that to the jury, which his client is telling him. If this is what he's saddled with, then he has no choice. He can't say, hey, Casey, that's not going to fly. Come up with a different story.
Oh,
clearly, this is what this
tell me
young
you've
lady
never done that.
Drew,
tell me you've never told a client, no, we're going to try this route.
Drew,
wait, hang on, Tommy. You've never done that?
This is... Of course not.
Okay.
If she told him that this is what went down, what is he supposed to say? Casey, I want you to forget you told me that your child's drowned in the pool. Let's come up with something else. He cannot do that. That did happen one time about 20 years ago on Hill Street Blues, but that was a TV show. It does not happen in real life. He's saddled with what she told him, and now he's got to make the best out of it.
There is an oath that you take, Tom.
Yeah, Shep, with all due respect to Drew, I mean, we all know what it's like. Anybody on this side of the fence knows what it's like to have a client come into your face, come into your office, look at you with a level stare, and tell you something that you know is absolute nonsense. You are not bound to go forward with a cockamamie defense that you don't believe in. It doesn't mean that you have to go into court and expose your client to be a liar. There's other ways to handle the case. It's called creating reasonable doubt. The beauty about being a criminal defense attorney is that the burden is completely on the prosecution. In fact, the judge will tell the jury the defense doesn't have to do anything. You can create reasonable doubt. But what Baez has done, he's shifted the burden to himself. He doesn't have to just now create reasonable doubt. He has to convince the jury that this is how the girl died.
It's clear that's his strategy, at least at this moment. We'll see if he's able to convince that jury, and we'll have a complete wrap of the day's events tonight on Fox Report. Drew and Tom, thank you both.